Hey, Marco Guzman here, and Star Wars is everywhere right now. My brothers and I just went to go see Rise of Skywalker on Christmas Eve. We thoroughly enjoyed it. We thought it was a great film, a great end to the trilogy. And then now also The Mandalorian, Episode 8, the finale of Season 1 just came out. And my God, has this series just been amazing. I might do some reviews later on both the series and the movie. I kind of been wanting to do that, so I think I'll do some reviews for this channel as well. But today, I want to do some voice acting, and I'm in a Star Wars mood, so I've picked out a few Sith from extended universe and legends, and just people that haven't had a chance to be on screen or video games or anything like that. So they haven't been voiced yet, and some of them probably won't because they're not canon, you know. But that doesn't matter. I'm a diehard Star Wars fan, and I want to give my audition tape, I guess, for some of these characters. Like I said, they haven't been voiced yet, so I'm just going to kind of just look at them and imagine what I think they should sound like. So we're going to go ahead and get into it, and we will be using Wikipedia for a little bit of knowledge I'm going to throw upon you. Some of you all might not know all of these characters. Definitely the last one I think most people will know of. But if you're a big Star Wars nerd like myself, you probably know of the characters I'll be going over today. Like I said, I will just be doing some Sith that I find interesting. Obviously, there's plenty more Sith that I could be doing, and maybe I'll do another video later expanding upon it. But today, this first one we're starting with is Darth Krayt. If you don't know who Darth Krayt is, let me read a little bit about him for you. Darth Krayt, born Asharad Het, was a human male who served as a Jedi Master in the waning days of the Galactic Republic. The son of legendary Jedi Knight Sharad Het and his wife Kashyyyk, both of whom lived among the Tusken Raiders of Tatooine. He eventually became the Padawan of Jedi Masters Ki-Adi-Mundi and later Anya Kuro. When he was only a teen, Het's father was murdered by the Jedi assassin Aurra Sing, who was later defeated in a duel by a young Asharad Het. And I'm not going to read this entire thing because there's a lot, but I'll give you a quick little rundown. So basically, like I said already, he was a Tusken Raider that was a Jedi. His father was a Jedi, and he served with the Republic during the Clone Wars and stuff like that. Later on, after the fall of the Empire, and he survived, I believe, I don't recall, I think he was on Tatooine with the Tusken Raiders, and that's why he wasn't killed off in Order 66. I'm pretty sure that's why. But anyhow, he survived, and he saw the downfall of the Jedi and was basically impressed by how efficient the Empire was. And so he kind of took a lot of things from the Empire to eventually later, after the fall of the Empire, he goes on to make kind of his own Sith Empire. So he ends up dying at some point and resurrecting himself through the Force, because that's what you do when you're a Sith. Another cool little thing about him is he fought with and along with Cade Skywalker, which is, I believe, Luke's great-grandson. He had an abundance of just awesome Force powers. He had Force Drain, which he kind of like sapped the life force out of people. And I think he could just do it like out of like the planet as well. I'm not exactly sure. I know Darth Nil kind of did like some of that stuff. Like he ate like whole planets basically. He could do Force illusions and make you see things. He also kind of had an Anakin Skywalker thing going on where he had visions of the future, which is, you know, pretty useful. Actually, well, no, I think it was actually more useful for him. Like Anakin was like, I see the future, and he couldn't really do anything to change it. I think Krayt was able to actually see the future and be like, oh, I can, use this in my plans. But he had, some other, cool Sith powers and whatever. But the coolest thing about him is this awesome mask. He has this super rad mask and armor actually all over his whole body. Let me see if I can pull up an image. So yeah, he built himself this awesome suit that was just, he became a Sith Lord, and he was like, I need to be menacing. I was a Jedi, and now I need to be menacing. But anyway, big props on style, and we're going to go ahead, and there's some there's some quotes of him already on this website, and I'm just going to read some of them off and what I would expect his voice to sound like. So we're just looking at him and trying to figure out what his voice sounds like first. Aesthetically, he really reminds me of like Shao Kahn from Mortal Kombat. He's this suited dude. He's in a place of power, and there's actually a lot of things that really remind me of Shao Kahn. about him. But then you also, I want to take in the consideration that he was a Jedi before. So I don't want to give him the Shao Kahn voice. Like, instinctually, like, just looking at him, if I knew nothing about him, I would probably give him a Shao Kahn voice. Like, give me a short line, give me a short line, give me a short line. Like here, he says Skywalker. Okay, very short quote. I was looking for a short quote. Most of these are like 3 sentences or something, but this one's just a sentence, or not even a sentence, 3 words. So instinctually, how I would want him to sound saying that would be like, Skywalker is coming! Something like that, but he was a Jedi. So I have to take that into consideration. I don't think as a Jedi, he would have had that voice. And so you need to have a voice that carries with him as a person, even though he is this dark Sith Lord now. And you can kind of change his voice. Like, for example, if this was a TV show and the TV show started with him as a Jedi, the way you voice the character can change and maybe get a little gravelier or a little more demanding in tone, but you still want the character to corely sound the same. So I wouldn't, have a Jedi walking around like, Master Yoda, I mean, I guess if it was like a big beast or something kind of, but you wouldn't have like this evil sounding guy as a Jedi. So I need a voice that complements him as a Jedi, and then more so just tonally change it to where it works for him as Sith Lord now. So first we're gonna do some quotes here where this is before he becomes Darth Krayt, and he's just Asharat Het, the Jedi Knight. I am a Tusken, but no longer one with the desert. I am also a Padawan, seeking to complete his Jedi training. All units will converge on this location and defend it as long as possible. Alright, now we're getting into Darth Krayt quotes. So this is Darth Krayt retelling his survival of Order 66. I reached out through the Force, but could not sense any other Jedi. A light had gone out in the galaxy, and I was alone. The Jedi Purge, as it became to be known, was extraordinarily effective. I think I need to say that with more confidence. I read it like, as if he was like afraid, but although he may have been afraid at the time, I feel like at this point he's a more confident man. I reached out through the Force, but could not sense any other Jedi. A light had gone out in the galaxy, and I was alone. The Jedi Purge, as it was become known, was extraordinarily effective. There is only one way to stop Abeloth: Jedi and Sith together. Lingering hatred festered on worlds that had suffered heavily at the hands of the Yuuzhan Vong. That hatred gave us our opening. We manufactured a cause for the war, making the Vong seem responsible. Split, the Galactic Alliance began to fight itself, and so died. No! I take what I desire. I am the living Lord of the Sith. This is not the truth, and it is not my destiny. I forge my way. I walk a new path. And if you will not serve me, be gone. That's a really cool image of him right here. Now we're moving on to Darth Nil. He is a Sith Lord that worked under Darth Krayt in his galactic empire and served in the Sith Imperium. Let me just read this. Darth Nil was a Nagai male Sith Lord serving in Darth Krayt's galactic empire during the Sith Imperial War and the Second Imperial Civil War. A former Nagai warlord, Nil had been recruited into the One Sith by Darth Krayt and was initially made into his fist, or military leader. So Darth Nil kind of served as his right-hand man for a period of time, and I just absolutely love this dude's design. He looks like a black metal... like he's part of a band on the side. Like when he's not doing his Sith stuff, he's rocking out with his band on the weekend or something like that. Super cool looking dude, super scary, and super cool lightsaber as well. He has this like weird staff with a ring at the end of it. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I don't believe Darth Nil was a Jedi or anything. He was brought on as a Sith. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity to give that more kind of evil, aggressive voice to a character. This is a guy that I can get behind being real bad to the bone, just an evil guy, mean Mr. Nasty Man, compared to Darth Krayt, which is, I feel, a more layered character and has more going on to him other than I'm just evil. But nonetheless, very cool. Not, no diss on Darth Nil or anything. Cool dude. He's got spiky shoulders and whatnot. Very, I'm sure if he wasn't a Sith Lord to be working at Hot Topic or something, very successful. I earned my place as a hand. I slew many Jedi that day, including Cole Skywalker. You should have stayed dead on Ossus, One Arm. I dislike having to kill my opponents twice. I'm not looking at myself, but I imagine I'm just like squinting my face. He must be evil. His father's son. Weak and too easily defeated by darkness. So I was joking. I was making a joke about the Hot Topic thing earlier, but this dude lives in Hot Topic. My lord, I earned my place as your hand. I deserve better than this. I do not do this to assist you. I do it because this one interests me. I killed many Jedi that day. Perhaps your father was one. So overall, cool Sith. Probably will not ever get him in the actual movies. He is long gone now. He is not canon, not real. But perhaps maybe we can get someone just as goth and it'll be glorious. Now, moving on to the one that everyone knows, Darth Plagueis. So this, was the Sith that trained Palpatine and spawned a bunch of memes without even revealing his face on screen. And I'm going to go ahead and read up on him a bit. Darth Plagueis, remembered as Darth Plagueis the Wise, was a male moon, Dark Lord of the Sith, and heir to the lineage of Darth Bane. Trained by Darth Tenebris, Plagueis mastered the art and the science of midichlorian manipulation. Obsessed with eternal life, he experimented with ways to cheat death and create new life from the midichlorians. So yeah, he is a moon, which is the banking clan people that I'm sure is a fan favorite. Everyone's favorite is the banking clan, which he's the Squidward-looking people, which was honestly part of his success. He was able to control the banks and kind of finances, the thing that he was trying to get accomplished, whatever it was, controlling the galaxy with money. Because that's how you do it. Money is power. The Force is secondary only to money. I think a lot of us were kind of holding out that maybe this was Snoke, instead of, Snoke just being nobody and forgotten about, sadly. He is canon. He's the only one I'm talking about today that is canon. He's a real dude. We just don't have anything of, he's not in any kind of shows or movies or anything.
Is the problem.
Racist Asian right there, voice.
Age might temper her idealism.
So yeah, this is a Mun, part of the,
do something about her. Huh?
He's part of the same species. So he's my only reference point, really, for what he might sound like. But Plagueis was a pretty calculating... he trained Sidious, the guy that, took over the whole galaxy. And essentially, stole Plagueis' plan. That's what Plagueis was working on. And then Sidious was like, yep, stabby stab. That was my idea, right, the whole time. Anywho, we're going to go ahead and find some of his lines, and we're going to do my best. I feel like this one is going to be kind of a strange one, like I said, because he does have, he's not human, He's got his own smushed-in nose and elongated face and everything, so I'm going to do my best here. Tell me what you regard as your greatest strength, so I will know how best to undermine you. Tell me of your greatest fear, so I will know which I must force you to face. Tell me what you cherish most, so I will know what to take from you. And tell me what you crave, so that I might deny you. So I'm kind of conflicted, because I don't necessarily want to give him the most intimidating voice, because he's not the most, physically fearful person. The banking clan people, or to me, are just kind of a laughable species, I guess. They're typically not a very threatening species, but he is a Dark Lord of the Sith. So I want him to speak in a kind of intimidating way, even though it's still kind of funny to listen to from a moon. And am I being racist right now?
You have the Force, apprentice, and the talent to lead. More, you have the bloodlust of a serial killer. Though we need to hold that in reserve unless violence serves some extraordinary purpose. We are not butchers, Sidious, like some past Sith Lords. We are architects of the future. His sentiments have made him a liability. More important, his death will allow us to position where you've longed to be. Everything done here has been for a single purpose: to extend our reign indefinitely. To say that the Force works in mysterious ways is to admit one's ignorance. For any mystery can be solved through the application of knowledge and unrelenting effort. As we had our way with the Senate, and as we will soon have our way with the Republic and the Jedi, we will have our way with the Force. You must begin by gaining power over yourself, then another, then a group, an order, a world, a species, a group of species. Finally, the galaxy itself.
And that is going to conclude today's video. I just picked a few Sith randomly, basically. I know there's plenty more Sith that I could potentially voice later in the future. I'll probably be doing a review on both Rise of Skywalker and The Mandalorian here soon, so keep an eye for that if you're interested. If you haven't seen either yet, I do recommend it. The movie was great, but the series of The Mandalorian was just phenomenal. So definitely, if you don't have Disney Plus, just get that, just to watch that show. Like, it is worth it just for that show, I promise you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have other characters, whether it be from Star Wars or whatever other franchise that you want like me to voice, just let me know in the comments and I'll see what I can do to get to it. I do have a few other things planned. The holidays kind of slowed me down a little bit, but I do plan on releasing stuff fairly regularly here on this channel now. If you need some vocal work done, I do have a Fiverr page and it's linked in the description. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful day and peace out.